Hello and welcome to our group call for the 12th of January 2025. Hope you've had a good weekend. I know some of you may have been affected by the fires in California, so I really hope that you've been able to stay safe, and I hope that the rebuild goes very well. I know people are really struggling over there. We've got quite a jam-packed call today, and as you can see, I tried to set up my new green screen and everything behind me, but didn't quite work out very well. So a bit of a pain in the ass getting these new things to work. But anyway, I'll deactivate this, and we'll go through our schedule for today. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at our results from last week. So there weren't many results shared last week because there wasn't much actual trading last week. I only traded for a couple of hours during the week between coding. So I'll go through what I did over there. And we're going to be looking at our setup of the DTB system. So some of you guys are still experiencing issues with setting up the DTB system. So this is going to be really helpful to especially all the new guys, but also to the existing guys, just to make sure that you follow a very specific sequence of events. So we're going to do that. And then we're also going to cover our Modena Wick Trader automated strategy, as well as the chart that we're going to be trading on and just some options regarding that. So as usual, I'm going to be keeping an eye out on the group calls. So just give me a second. It should all be coming through correctly. Yes, you guys should all be good. Thanks, Christopher. You are there. Nice. Okay, so we'll jump straight to our back to our desktop. Okay. I'd started the screen sharing a bit late, only a few minutes ago, but we've had some really positive market action this evening already, just go up as the market opened. So there would have been some nice signals to jump on there. So good on that. Okay, so let's jump to our group results. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this up on this screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Bruce sharing a bit of his chart setup there. So using the volume analytics, and hopefully we can get into seeing this a little bit on the call today too. So this volume analytics is really helpful to determine the current, momentum of price. So it's a really nice little indicator that we have that will just show price, the current momentum, who's in control of the price, buyers versus sellers. So, we'll do that. And then I also did some, like I said, I did some manual trading during the week. So what I was doing is I was trading the exact same chart that we shared on last week's call, where we had the baseline chart with the candles or the price action between them. So, like for example, here's the baseline, there are the positions that were entered, and I primarily relied on the DTB SI indicator. So the SI indicator is, giving us incredible ideas of where price is, where the institutional support and resistance levels are, where the brick walls are. So we can see the price going up, hitting a brick wall, a very small slight change around there. In fact, if this had gone red and continued red, I would have exited the open positions I had entered around here. But what happened is it stayed green, so I entered more positions. I entered another limit order over there, another limit order over there. And, ultimately all of those trades went up and formed a new baseline. So where the target is where the new baseline is. So you can see the price was 359 ticks away from the baseline. It's only a 369 baseline. So, predicting a baseline break, trading the price up. And then, that was the end result. So price hitting a new baseline. As you can see, this candle becomes a full candle when a baseline is broken. as you'll see on the charts we're going to share in a moment. And then hitting target. So, I like to target the baseline specifically, instead of rather just scalping, especially if I've got limited time to trade. So, just in a couple of hours of trading between 7:41 and 9, it's not even 2 hours, I was able to enter those positions and jump out the market at a decent profit. So, that's what I like to do. And yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so like I said, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be focusing on, a few things like the setup. And before I get there, we've got quite a few new members recently. So a lot of new members have joined up with the DTB system and also with the complimentary indicator offering. And that's because we've got our dedicated sponsored space here on NinjaTrader. So as I mentioned before on a previous call, only 4 companies out of the 1,400 vendors in NinjaTrader have the opportunity or have the option, or not the option, what's the word I'm looking for? They have the space over here to actually promote their tool. So, it's only available to a select few people, and DTB Traders is one of them. So that's why when people are searching for their trading apps or they're searching for whatever they're looking for, they're going to see over here the complete trading system for all levels, and this will take them to the DTB Traders website. So pretty cool, and welcome to those new members, and hopefully this call will give you some insight into the DTB system and help you progress with your trading. All right, so what I wanted to do first, now that's our signal chart. So I've got a couple of workspaces open. So you'll see I've got a workspace open called the DTB indicator sample, which is the one we're looking at now, but I've also got the Modena Wick Trader workspace open. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to my control center, and I'm going to go workspaces, and I'm actually going to close these workspaces. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go to workspaces, close them all. Okay. Now in the Discord chat earlier, I did put in an announcement, and I did put this this text in here. So this is what we're going to be doing on this call, and it's so important for you guys to follow this exactly. I mean, if you don't do this exactly, you're more than likely going to run into errors or issues with NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader has to be, dealt with very carefully for it to function properly, especially when it comes to assemblies and workspaces and all that type of stuff. So let's run through that entire process from the beginning. So as you can see, the first step was, step 1 was close all workspaces. If I can get the stupid thing back. So step 1 was close all workspaces, removing the assembly, closing NinjaTrader. So, you guys can follow along as we do that, and I'm going to do it in sequence on this call. So very first thing that we're going to do is remove the old assembly. So we're going to go to Tools, remove NinjaScript add-on, and that's going to bring up the current assembly list that we are on. So even though I'm on the latest assembly, I'm still going to do this whole process again. So I'm going to select the assembly, and I'm going to click on remove. Okay, so that's going to say it's going to say it has been removed. NinjaTrader requires you to shut down. Okay, so once you've done that, you immediately just exit NinjaTrader. Okay, so that's done. Now, your script file is the one that comes with the DTB system, and it's included within the OneDrive folder, and it's also in the announcements section of the Discord channel. So what I like to do is I like to put that assembly script inside my Documents NinjaTrader 8. So whenever I'm looking for it, I know it's over there. So, and I also put it on my desktop. So you can put it in both locations. It's a very good idea. So the very next thing that you do is you're going to right click on this, and you're going to go run as administrator. and you're going to select your user machine. So this is an administrator machine. So I'm going to select 1 and I'm going to select number 4. So 1 and 4 are the main options. You know, on that first section, you might have different usernames on your computer. And if you've got different usernames, make sure you use the username that is attached to your NinjaTrader installation. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And what that's going to do is it's going to download the latest assembly. It's going to download all the latest templates, but it's first going to remove all of the old DTB templates. So whenever you see a template that's got DTB TT00 at the end, this here is going to make sure that those are specifically deleted. So it's going to run that, and I just want to check behind the scenes over here. Okay, so we'll just let this run. Okay, and as soon as that continues running, sorry, I must have clicked something on my screen here. So as soon as that completes its running, it's going to exit the script and it's going to open up NinjaTrader. So one of the things you can do is you can check your documents folder, NinjaTrader 8, templates, chart. You'll see that they all are there. Okay, so now you're going to log into NinjaTrader. Okay, you're going to log in. And as soon as you've logged in, it's going to give me that message if I've got a connection to any other feed on another PC. So the very first thing you do after that is you go to Tools, Import NinjaScript add-on. Okay, and now that's going to show us the latest assembly. So if it doesn't take you to this folder, and especially for new guys, if it doesn't take you to this folder, just navigate to your documents, NinjaTrader 8 DTB assembly. So it's going to put a DTB assemblies folder in your documents as well as the DTB traders. So you navigate to your DTB assemblies and you select the latest assembly. So you click on open, and that's going to say, this file contains add-ons. You've got to click on yes over there. You're going to click on yes again. And then it's going to say NinjaTrader requires that you shut down and restart the application for the DTB traders to take effect. So as soon as you do that, all you have to do is click on the X. And then for the second one, you don't have to run the script again. You can just double click on the NinjaTrader icon because everything's already been cleared. Everything's already done. So then you just sign in again with your username and password. And once that has done, and for brand new members, as soon as you do this, you're going to click on the DTB license menu. So, at the moment, we've just got a default DTB in there. So you put it in DTB and you click on validate. Now this only gets done once, and ultimately everyone's going to get their own unique license, license key. But the nice thing is it's part of the NinjaTrader thing, right? So it's fully integrated beautifully. So once that's been done and set as DTB, you've actually got your system here. Then you can go to your workspaces and you'll see you've got your DTB traders workspaces there. And the first one is your indicator sample. So, this is what we start every call on. And, the amazing thing about this is you've got immediate access to powerful signal charts that you can go and act on. You can go and enter positions on. So, let this actually, one of the first things you do is definitely open up this workspace, especially if you're new to the system or you want to do some manual trading, some manual scalping positions, you will do that. And then while it's calculating, just don't touch anything on the screen, on the chart, just let it continue doing what it's doing. And then that's going to load up a few of our signal charts. So as you can see, it's a pretty quick and seamless process. So, within literally 2 or 3 minutes of, running the script, importing the tools, you've got access to these powerful signal charts. And not only that, but everything else. So there you've got your show me the money, you've got your take it and run, and then you've got a few other charts over here with the advanced retracement. Now, over time, I'm going to be updating this workspace. And the cool thing is that whenever you run the script and it updates the template, you will have access to the updated templates. So there's a few over here, like this one here is the trade support. We've got a trend analysis multi, which can be, sometimes it could have a lot of lines on it. But ultimately, this is also going to give you, built-in trend lines. You don't have to, these are not manual trend lines. These are indicator inputted trend lines that are giving you, that's showing you breakout levels, that are showing you different things that you can act on. So, extremely powerful tools to work on. And it's also got a trend analysis for your volume, for your minutes, your tick volume and normal volume. So these are at the bottom over here. So what this is basically saying is 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, and 15 minute bars are all showing green, but the 20 minute, 30 minute, 60 minute, 4 hour daily and daily, those are all showing red. So if you're looking at a trend direction, that shows you trend direction. So the first one is based on time. The second one is based on tick. So this is showing you that if you're loading a tick chart of these values, all of those are green. This one is volume. So this is how much volume has been, if you're loading specific volume bars, this is telling you out of all of those volume bars, all of these are up and only these two are down. So this is a good way of seeing an overall look at what the trend is on different types of bars. Okay, and just giving you an indication that, without having to load up multiple charts, it's all there. It's like there, right? You don't have to go load multiple charts to know what the current trend is of price. And then there's a few others. There's a flat baseline. There's your volume analysis. Here's your trending baseline. There we've got more of a trend following type of approach with the manipulating filter, also coloring the bars with the brick walls. Again, with our volume analysis over here, telling us, the last amount of volume pumped into the market. This is all green. There's another one there with a slightly larger bar size. So again, just giving us the brick walls, support and resistance levels. And there's a slightly simpler one just with the brick walls. So, these are just provided for you to look at what price is doing and, get a good feel for the DTB system. Okay, so it's a cool workspace. So I don't know any other company or any other offering out there that, within 3-4 minutes, you've got a system set up and you can look at powerful charts immediately because you've got multiple different tools designed to work together on these charts immediately. So that is how simple and effective that is. Okay, so going back over here, we've got our workspaces. Now, we've also got a game plan workspace. So we're going to be using our game plan from next week. So the reason why we're not running a game plan quite as yet, and that is because, we're looking at the moment at the date. So it's the 12th of January. So the banks and institutions really only got back to trading on the 5th. So we've only got 1 week of data of, the big boys in the market. all the 2 weeks before that, there's none of the banks and institutions are trading. They're all off. They all, it's holidays, it's Christmas, New Year, and all that. So it's only this specific week that we just passed and the week that we're currently in. So at the end of this current week, we're going to use the last 2 weeks of data to do our optimizations going forward. Now, 2 weeks of data isn't a lot of data. So we're ultimately going to start with micros only when we're optimizing those 2 weeks. And then as soon as we've got 3 weeks plus worth of data, then we can start trading the larger contracts and working on that. So, that's why we're not running any automated strategies that require backtesting optimization, because the data prior to this is crap data. I mean, anybody would know that that's sensible, right? So, that's the idea behind that. Okay, so let's go to our workspace that we're going to be working off today. Now, I did cover everything that I said I was going to cover, right? The setup, our results. Okay, so the next thing we're going to cover is our Modena Wick Trader automated strategy and the chart that comes with it. So again, you go to your workspaces, and you can even close this. So, it's good to have, you don't have to save it because it's automatically there, but it's a good idea to only work with one workspace at a time. So, loading the indicator samples, there's quite a few indicators built in there. You don't want all of that in your memory running in the background. So whatever workspaces you have open, NinjaTrader is consuming that data, and it's basically working with that data in the background. So one of the best hints you can have is, only work with one workspace at a time. And, the one we're going to look at now is the Modena Wick Trader. So again, this is part of the script. So when you ran the script and it installed all the templates, this is one of the templates that it put in, which is basically a workspace. So as soon as you load this workspace, we'll just see what this looks like. I'm not sure if I yes, perfect. I just want to switch over to okay, so this is what the workspace looks like. So again, you've already got a workspace set up with the tools, with the flat baseline, exactly like I traded in my results. So if I go back to the results that I posted over here, this this chart over here, you'll see it looks, why is this so freaking small, man? Goodness gracious me. So you'll see that, there's the baseline and there's the wicks in between. So I'll just pull this aside again. And you'll see this is exactly the same thing. You've got, there's your baseline. The market opened. You can see the time. Look at the time on the chart, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. The market came down a little bit. So there's the open. The market came down, formed this new baseline. Then we had a few little red bars over here, but then we had all these green bars. So look at all these green bars going up. We had a slight, what's the word? Resistance here at the brick walls of the indicator, and then ultimately up again. And now the price is right up here, which is, quite far from the baseline. So looking at this baseline chart, there's the beginning of the baseline. Okay. And the price is currently, it's currently 300 ticks up from where the baseline is, from when the baseline started. So I didn't add this indicator on before, but let me just go to the indicator list and go to your, go to the indicators. Now, obviously, all of these indicators are part of the DTB system, the one that say DTB on the end or beginning. So we want to check how many ticks the price has moved away from the baseline. So we've got a tick distance counter. Okay, so loading the tick distance counter, we apply it to the primary data series, which is that flat baseline chart. And it's going to give us a value of how many ticks the price is away. Now we are having a little bit of jumping, and I think that's because it's this line here. It's trying to, you know, draw this line. It's trying to force this line on the screen. So this green line over here that you're looking at, that will come into place if the price comes below, and this is where the price would need to go for the baseline to break in the opposite direction. Obviously, the red line is where the price would need to go to, you know, to break to that baseline. So yeah, we've got some green bars. So there's a very, 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 very high likelihood of this price going to this level over here. Okay, 201.50 or 201.47, because we've got a brick wall. The price failed at this brick wall slightly. The bars were marked red. Now we've got green bars, and you know, we've got our breakout volume marker left behind, and you know, so unless these bars go and turn red again and come down, you know, this is going up. So exactly from this point over here where the price is, which started off at this brick wall over here, we are going to see a move of like 80 ticks. Okay, so that's likely going to happen there. Again, as long as these bars stay green. If they start going red, we might have another little drop down. I just want to go to my data series and switch to center price on scale. I was going to see if that makes a difference with the jumping of the screen. Possibly does. So now we've got this green line in this. So yeah, there we had a red bar starting to form there. So, you know, now we've got our baseline. There's our baseline over there. We've got our projected baseline to that one over there, and we've got our projected baseline down. So, you know, bear in mind what happens around these brick walls, because the colors can change. As soon as the price closes below the brick wall, it's going to paint red. If it closes above, it's going to paint green. So these are the points of interest in price. So, you know, when you're choosing direction of your automated strategy, you know, this is something that you're going to be looking at as you go ahead. Okay, so let's look at our Modena Wick Trader strategy. But actually, before we do that, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page with regarding to the chart that we're looking at. So, you know, last week we covered the setup of this chart, and I think I might just do a quick refresh on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this in a new tab, and I'm going to duplicate it in a new tab again. Okay. So what this is going to do is just going to show you guys what the chart, how the chart is made up. So you'll see over here, you've got your trending baseline chart, and you've got another data series built into it. So if I go over here and I go to my data series and I remove the second one, okay, now you will only see your flat baseline chart. So you're basically seeing the flat baseline chart excluding all of the price action on the wick. And then obviously if I go to this one over here and I go to my data series and I remove the primary one, you will see that, let me just wait for this to refresh. Okay. So this is all the price action on, you know, this is the singular data series. So there we've got our singular data series, there we've got our flat baseline chart, and there we've got everything combined. So, you know, that's why I just did that quickly just to show you. And as you can see, we've actually had a fail at that brick wall. So my very, 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 very likely one just failed over there. But that's what happens, you know. This is part of the reality of trading, is that anything can happen at any time. And the important thing to remember is not to be married to your positions that you take out. So if you do take a long trade like that, don't say, oh shit, you know, it's going down. Oh my God, shit, let me enter another trade. Let's hope it's going to go up. Let's hope it's going to go up. No, exit that position because the price has gone down now. Simple as that. So, you know, here's we still got a very high likelihood of the price, you know, going to the next baseline. but we're 236 away from the current baseline. And as we can see on all these charts, we are going to have different size wicks. So the price is going to, form large wicks and return to the baseline. That's very often that's going to happen, and often for extended periods of time. But then you're also going to have, these wicks that actually form new baselines, which are ultimately, returning to previous price levels if the price has been there historically. So going back to the end there, see now we're back at 250. So looking at this chart again, we've still got red bars currently, but wait until these turn green again. So again, if you're in short positions, you're gonna watch what's happening with the coloring of the bars here and where these brick walls are. Often the price could also just come back to a brick wall and then bounce off it and then run down. And that way that that level is actually very secure, which is exactly what happened over here, where the price went up, came back down again, stuffed around a little bit around this brick wall. You can see these brick walls, came back, come up, retested it again, went up. So as soon as you have a retest of a brick wall and a bounce up from there, it's a very strong signal. This one over here, we had a brick wall form over here, and it came back, it broke through lightly and then broke down. So that's not really a retest. It's more just like, a through and under again. So looking at the brick walls, seeing what price is doing around them, we might have a similar situation over here as we did over here, where the price just broke through and then, came back down again. But, no two situations are going to be the same, obviously. So it's a good idea to, and we had a similar type of thing over there where the price, basically forms the brick wall, comes back, retests, breaks through a little bit, and ultimately stays below. And then here's our retest of that brick wall coming back down. So, always pay attention to what's happening on the charts and don't be stuck in positions that are definitely, don't be married to positions, right? It's the worst wife you can have. The absolute worst distasteful wife you can have is being married to positions in trading. Trust me, it will screw you up very badly. And it's just gambling, right? You're basically gambling. Okay, so let's jump into the Modena Wick Trader strategy now. Sorry, it was a long time getting there. And I will just remove these two charts because they're not going to be beneficial over here. Okay, so looking at a Modena Wick Trader strategy, I'll just go through a few of the settings to begin with. So ludicrous mode, I will cover when I activate it. And that just basically means it's a specific point where price is going to exit if the price turns around and goes the other side of the baseline. So it's a specific price, a specific level that is in place before the strategy starts trading on that side of the baseline. So it's an exit level. Okay, so we have our daily profit targets and stops, which you can select. We also have a strategy trailing drawdown. We've got this position over here. So if I go just template reset, it's just going to bring up the default settings that the strategy is programmed at. So you're going to see over here, there's an option over here to use to not allow new positions if P&L negative. So if you select this box over here and the strategy is entering positions, it will enter its first position, okay? But if the unrealized profit and loss is greater than negative 10, so if your unrealized is minus 10 and higher, it will not enter any more positions. It will wait until that unrealized value is basically above that value, and then it will enter position. So you can set this value and have it like that. Have it as a negative value. And this can even be a positive value. So if you had to put $100 in there, what will happen is that if your unrealized profit is only more than $100 green, will it enter new positions? So it's a nice feature that you can play with, but most people will use like the negative value. So like, don't enter more positions if I'm already $50 down. Now, this is one of the new little settings that I put in, which is super, super cool. And I'm just going to keep monitoring the group calls chat. Excellent. Thank you. Welcome, Greybeard. So this is a new little feature that I popped in, and I thought, wow, this actually is a really, really awesome idea, because what this does is it instead of it relying solely on hitting its stop loss, like the stop ticks or the stop ticks on the strategy, you can set a very specific dollar value that if all of your open positions combined have got your unrealized at -200, it will exit all of your open positions. So that's pretty cool, because you actually can set dollar values, like you don't want your unrealized, you might be in multiple trades, and you could have it going up $300, $400, $500, but before it even hits your stops, because sometimes your stops can be quite far away. But if you specifically want to have your unrealized controlled, you set this value over here. So work with different values over here. So you might just put like $250, and what will happen over here is any open positions will exit when this is met, but it will still continue trading. So it's still going to look for new entries at the current price, because often you could have the price go into drawdown and then come back, but it might take a long time to come all the way back. Whereas this will say, I'm cutting my losses right here, and I'm looking for new opportunities from this moment. It's a pretty awesome feature. Pretty awesome feature. The account stops and stuff, we're not going to use that right now. I haven't actually retested this specific one, so we'll just leave it now. But ultimately what this is supposed to do is you select an overall account balance, account stop for all strategies trading on that one account. So I'll just leave that off for now. I will retest that in a latest update. Now, retracement. So retracement is how many ticks the price has to retrace by before it enters a position. So from a high or from a low, that's the tick value that it's obviously gonna enter positions on. Then we've got trade size, max entries per direction. So how many total trades do you want the strategy to enter? And then you've got your minimum distance, which is your minimum distance from baseline to enter position. That's very simple. So there's the baseline. You want the price to go 10 ticks first before it even looks at entering positions. You've got a delay. So a delay will be, if you say 50 on there, what that is basically saying is, okay, I want the strategy to trade, within from 10 ticks onwards, but I want the first trade. I don't want any trades before the price has gone up 50 ticks. Or you might have it any value. Like say, for example, over here, we're looking at 240. You might say, you know what? I only want to trade the first trade of the strategy. And this is all going to be dependent on your baseline, right? What size baseline you have. So you might say, I only want my first trade to enter when the price is 100 ticks away from the baseline. So look, we've had almost a retest of that brick wall over there and a bounce down. As a side note, we've also got the space out entries. So space out entries is, allowing gaps between your trades. So if you don't want to have multiple trades in one location after every different retracement, this is going to provide a buffer between all your entries. So like that's 10 ticks. So each trade will be like 10 ticks separated and based on that retracement. So we've got the retracement level the price is going to try and, enter positions. The strategy is going to try to enter positions based on the retracement. But if it's within that 10 ticks of a previous position, it's not going to enter a position right there. So here we've got maximum distance from baseline to enter a position. So this is your baseline. And, I'm glad we covered on the last call last week what a baseline is, what a breaking of a baseline is, because this all ties into it. So the maximum distance from the baseline to enter a position, so 180. So like this one over here is a 369 chart. So if I look at this, you'll see the baseline is 369 ticks. Okay, so that's how far the baseline is. So you could say, I want to enter up to 350 ticks. So I'm willing to take trades between the 10 and 350. That's what we're doing over there. Now, this is awesome because it's customizable. So you could say, I want to trade at that point over there, 350. But you can also say, I only want to trade between 200 and the first trade 200. So if you set this value as the minimum distance of 200 and a maximum distance of 350, it's going to trade within a small band of price. You see, it's going to trade starting at 200 and ending at 350. So it's a 150 tick band on that baseline where the price is going to trade. I'll reset that back. And I'll just put this back at for this baseline that we're working with. Okay. So I shouldn't have reset that. I'm just going to put this back like this. Okay, so then we've got our colors for our markers. So these lines that you're seeing on the chart, that you won't see them yet because I haven't activated the strategy. But the markers that we're going to put there, and I might just enable. No, I won't enable it yet because then everything's grayed out. Okay, so we've got our markers over there, which we'll see in a moment, which will show us the different lines on the chart. Okay, and then we've got another feature we have inside here is enable to check for opposite positions first before entering a new trade. So what this will do is we'll exit all open positions first before a signal change. So if you have this tick box checked, what will happen is any trades that you have open, they first have to hit their stops and targets before a signal changes. So this is only on the signal change. So if the strategy is entering short positions, it'll continue hitting short positions. But if a long position presents itself, then those trades will first have to exit before the signal actually enters new positions. So that's what that specific one does. And this is the part where it comes to your targets and stops. Okay, so you can use a trailing stop on the strategy. So very cool feature. I mean, it's a cool feature because you've got options, right? I'm not a fan of trailing stops at all, but you have this. And, if your trailing stops are wide enough, you're good. But the benefit of having a trailing stop is you're able to move your stops and targets, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so you can use a trailing stop on here, and obviously you know how trailing stops work. It's going to move your stop loss as the price moves. So you can select having a trailing stop and target. Just remember there's 3 options. So if you're selecting the one option, make sure that you unselect the other option. So here you've got a trailing stop of these values. Okay, you've got target ticks and a trailing stop. Now, continuing with this, you've got the next feature. So if you're not using a trailing stop, you've got this target and stop management for exact stop and targets. So what is an exact stop and target? Okay, so this is what it looks like. So you can say 2, and you can say exact stop is going to be 365, 360, even 368. So what this means is that if you're entering short positions, or if the strategy is entering short positions, when the price touches 368 plus 368, those trades are going to exit. So I always put that like 1 or 2 ticks below where the baseline breaks, because you know that the baseline is going to break, and you don't want that to be on another baseline. You want this value to be on the specific baseline that you're working with. Okay, so, and you can also only use this feature if you are using a baseline Wick Trader chart. So if you're using a minute bar or any other chart, because you don't have exact values of baselines, you cannot set a specific value. So what this means is that if the price goes to 368, it will exit those positions, and all the targets. So you might have 10 positions entering on this wick, and every single one of those trades will exit when the price is 2 ticks away from the start of the wick. So, this is awesome when you are trading a wick coming back down towards the baseline. And look at this one here. It looks like it's doing opposite of what I thought it was going to do. But what I thought doesn't really matter. What I think doesn't matter shit. It's what the chart is telling me what is happening. Okay, so imagine being married to a long position over here, and this price is going down, 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 down. Divorce. Get out of it. Okay, so don't be married to your positions. Follow what the strategy is doing. So that's, red bars coming back down towards the baseline. And that's what it's doing so far. Okay, so that's your exact target and stop on tick on wick. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because you can combine 2 of these together. So these 2 over here. So what this does, okay, so you can still target an exact target on a wick, okay, but you can say, you know what, I want every single trade to have a 50 tick stop. Okay, so every single trade that enters on this wick, because remember, we're trading on this wick. When we activate the strategy, we're trading on this specific wick. This is the wick. This value over here is telling you the size of the wick at the moment, where the price is on the wick. As we saw earlier, it was like 340 up there, right? So we're trading the wick. So what you can do over here is you can say every single trade that enters must have a stop ticks of 50, okay? But all the targets must be 2 ticks away from the baseline. So you can have multiple entries and they will all enter. And as long as they're not stopped out, they will, when this comes back to the baseline, all those will be exited, okay? So that's slightly more complicated, for some people. And it's the exact same thing over here. You can say, you know what, I want to have a stop. So if the price touches 368 ticks, I want all my trades to exit, okay? But I want each trade to have a 25 tick target. So it'll enter, 25 tick target, enter, 25 tick target, enter, 25 tick target. Only when the price touches 368 ticks will the position close at a loss. Okay, so it'll close at a loss there, but also bear in mind, if you are using your money management here for your unrealized, if this kicks in first, obviously those trades will exit too. Okay, so what most people like to do with this is they say, you know what, I just want to target and stop. Like I want every trade to hit, either a 25 target or some people will put a larger stop. So you might have a 45 target and a 200 stop. So every single trade will have that as its criteria. Or you can say, you know what, I want to have this instead. So I'm going to have 45 and a 200, but I want the option to be able to move my stops. I want to be able to move it as I see, the price is coming down. Okay, well, you know what? I don't want my stop to be all the way up here. I want to move it down, and you can move it down. It's going to trail automatically according to whatever value you have, but you can also move it to, to your own level. Okay, so that's where we are. And obviously we've got our, so I hope this is clear as mud. And I know for some of the new guys, it's like, shit, man, what the hell's going on here? This is crazy. It's not crazy. It's called being an effective manager. If you cannot effectively manage your trades, there's no point in trading. So this is, what you basically are promoting yourself to here is a general manager of trading, because the strategy is going to enter positions. Think of the strategy entering positions as all your little workers, all your little NPCs busy entering positions, and you're like managing the situations. Like, okay, I'm managing, when the strategy is trading, when the strategy is not trading, what direction it's trading. Like, you are managing, like you are the general manager of your trading. You're not the NPC or the peasant entering all the little trades. The strategy is doing that for you. Okay. There's your trading hours, which you can set. You've got your blackout period. So, this year we covered on every other strategy. It's like, do not trade between these times of the day. So you can specifically set times of the day between your trading hours that, I don't want to trade. It's like, I don't want to trade 8:30 to 8:40 because there's going to be crazy news coming out. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that, at 8:26, all open positions are closed, and the strategy must only start looking for positions after 8:40. So that's awesome. And then you can select 3 of those, 3 different times. So it's a good idea to look at your economic calendar for the day ahead and see what is happening. Again, you're an effective manager. You're planning ahead. Okay. You're not just blindly going into the market. You're planning ahead. Like, if there's extremely volatile news coming out at 8:30, well, why the hell should you be trading it? Let John Wayne and his buddies trade that session, trade that time. It's 100% gambling entering a trade at 8:30 when there's non-farm payrolls coming out. It's like, it's literally the Wild West with John Wayne running the show. Okay, so why even bother trading that? There's no point. In fact, you're not an effective manager if you're sending your troops out into a freaking war zone going blind when there's guns blazing everywhere, right? Like, you prepare in advance. It's very interesting watching these so-called gurus trading these news events. It's like, you don't have a freaking clue how many ticks the price is going to jump up and down in a split second. There's no way of knowing what's happening. So that's why I put those blackout periods. See, we want to be effective managers of our trades. And there we go. So obviously you can exit your position. So, you've got the option, obviously, to exit the position. So some people, they don't want to trade between those periods, but if there are any trades open, you'll just let them continue. So, I don't really recommend that. I recommend, when the blackout period starts, just exit your positions. And there's your trading days. What days of the week do you want to trade? You specifically set it in advance. So if you can only trade a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, then untick the Sunday, Monday, right? It's like you're planning ahead for what you're doing. And obviously, every single day you're going to start the strategy, you're going to see which day it is, and you're going to, you can either have them all ticked and just manually completely control that, or you're going to, specifically choose the day of the week that you're going to trade. Okay, account button width. This is just a visual aspect on the chart. I made this editable so that if you're sharing screenshots and you don't want people to see your account name, you can reduce this. It's just a button on the chart. Okay, I've covered so much of this strategy. Okay, these signal charts, okay, is another hour. Okay, so I don't want to cover this now because I think it's going to be a bit of an overload. And the reason why is because last week we covered some amazing things on the call about how to manage your trades and all that, set up your charts. So we're going to leave the signal charts, because what these signal charts do is these are basically filters for when the strategy enters positions. So there's specific signal charts that are built into this strategy. So I'm just going to go like this for now. And there's quite a few. Trend analysis, there's a smoothing filter. Smoothing average is not a bad one to use. We'll look at that in a moment. 120, we'll look at that. There's this one over here, the filters. Smoothing filter, momentum value. This one is going to be a button activated. We can look at that one actually in a moment. Manipulation value. So this is the manipulation filter that we have. So it will only enter positions if the price is, if it'll only enter long positions if it is plus 0.25 or minus 0.25 for short positions. And those are the settings, 1 and 10. So, that is something that you can have as a filter, but for the moment, it's a good idea just to not use the filters, because I think it's a bit too much for some of you to understand, for right now. And we will go into detail about those filters. And, one of the next calls, we can say, okay, guys, we're going to just focus on the filters. And it's like, okay, damn, we don't have to cover everything else about the stop ticks, the target ticks, the trading hours, the delay, all that stuff. So do not want to overload you guys. Okay. You don't have, a huge amount of information just thrown at you. Enable prints. So if you want to see what the strategy is doing, it's like, okay, well, tell me in the prints what the strategy is doing. It's like, why did it enter a long position? Why did it enter a short position? Why did it exit? These are going to give you prints in your output window. Okay, you don't have to enable those after a while. Once you understand what the strategy is doing, disable this, because it's obviously going to add overload to NinjaTrader, because it's putting a lot of prints in your output window. We've got email alerts. So, hey, send me an email when the strategy hits its daily profit target, its target stops and targets. Like, send me regular emails every 15 minutes to first tell me that NinjaTrader is active. Okay. If NinjaTrader is not active, if the strategy is not active, you're not going to get an email. So it's like, oh shit, I better check NinjaTrader. If I'm not watching NinjaTrader, oh my God, what the hell's happening? Did NinjaTrader crash? Surprise, surprise. Yep, it may have happened. So you can set intervals over here, like, okay, just send me an email every 15 minutes to let me know that NinjaTrader is still running and no issue. And obviously you can set this to 30 minutes or 1 hour or 6, whatever, you can go 60 minutes. And you can also send me an email. Okay, send me an email every 5 minutes if a position has exited or an entry or exit. It'll send you email alerts. Very cool feature. Okay, so that's if you're not able to be at your PC and you're running the strategy, but you're not doing that now because you're managing the strategy, right? So this is only if you've created a template, you set up your signal charts, you've done a lot of work on the background to determine, okay, I only want to enter long when this happens. I only want to enter short when this happens. And one of the signal charts that I'm going to build in, which is not currently built in, is this one over here. It's like, okay, only enter long positions when the SI is green. Only enter short positions when it's red. If there's a changeover, exit those positions. Like, all of these trades would be done now with the signal chart. So that's what the signal charts do. These signal charts over here is they basically, you create a setting in here, like use the A and B setting to whatever A and B setting you are using. And, it will use that as a signal chart going, in the strategy. So the strategy will only enter positions when, it'll only enter short positions back towards the baseline when the bars are red. If the bars are green, it won't enter any short positions because it's predicting a baseline break. I still haven't put the reverse feature in here yet. I'm still debating, to work with that. I'm thinking a separate one might be a better option, but a separate strategy where you're controlling the reverse positions separately. But I still just have to come to grips with the programming of having reverse and trend positions in the same strategy. I know it seems like it's very simple. Oh, you just make a button, put it reverse, and make it all, instead of going long, go short. No, there's a shitload behind the scenes that has to all be synchronized. It's not simply just, I'll just make, instead of entering long, enter short. No, it doesn't work like that. The whole stops and targets and all that is like, it's completely, it's very tricky. It's very, very tricky. And if I say so, it definitely is. Okay. So that's why I haven't put the reverse in yet, because it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. The quickest solution for me is just to create the exact same strategy, but call it reverse and only, and then make everything reverse. That's the only other way. And then you've got your things, right? You've got your account that you're going to trade on. So I'm just going to activate the strategy right now. So as you can see, I activated the strategy on the primary data series, which is your 369.1. Okay, so we'll give that a second to load. Now, when you're loading the strategy and it says calculating, do not touch anything, just do not touch NinjaTrader, because if you start clicking on the screen, on the chart, it's going to completely crash NinjaTrader, because the NinjaTrader needs to be left alone. It needs to be left in a quiet little room for it to finish calculating before you touch anything. Okay, so that is what that is. So I've got a quick question. Can you cover setup start behavior? Okay, strategies. So the start behavior of the strategies, okay, there's only one that you ever use. You don't use anything else. Okay, you don't use anything else except for wait until flat synchronize account. Like, that's it. You don't use anything else. If you're trading on one account, that's what you use. You don't use anything else. You can have wait until flat, but it's not designed. All the strategies are designed for wait until flat synchronize account. It's just like, boom, simple. Okay, so now this is what the strategy looks like when it's active on the trading chart. Okay, now I just wanted to check something over here. Okay, so when you press the start button, what's going to happen is the strategy is going to start looking for positions. Okay, and it's going to tell you on the right hand side here how far price needs to retrace before it enters a position. Now, when you first start the strategy, it does take a bit of time just for the whole thing to do all the calculations and catch up with everything that it needs to catch up on. But ultimately, what's going to happen is when this retrace gap gets to 0, it's going to enter positions. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen on the very first candle that you activate it on. I just got to find out what the hell is going on there. But it does start trading, after a few minutes. And also, we need to make sure that we are within trading hours. So we are within the trading hours, which is 6:15 to 4. So there's also first bars of session. So, the strategy is also looking for how many bars since the beginning of the trading day. So what's going to happen is it's looking to complete bars for the new trading day before it starts. So that's why we're not actually seeing any of the markers right now, because there's only been one bar. This bar over here has been the only bar for the whole trading day, basically. Okay, we did have a few over here actually before. So we'll just see over here. Okay, so that's our previous flat baseline chart. That's our trading baseline chart. So for most of you, when you're actually trading the strategy during the US session, okay, when you activate it, you're going to see all the lines active immediately. They're going to be there. So what this is going to do right now is we've activated trading stop in the settings. Okay, so you'll see over there it says trading stop ticks 45. Now, the cool thing about this is you're able to adjust the stop ticks and the target ticks on the fly. So this is managing it, right? You don't have to go and restart the strategy. Oh my God, should I change this to this, change that? It's like, if you see you in a narrow range of price, you can say, I want my target ticks to be 46. You know what? Stop ticks, trading stop. You know what? I'm happy for, this to be a much smaller value. So, I'm going to have my trading stop at 100 ticks or 96 ticks. And whatever you adjust over here is going to automatically adjust in the settings. So you'll see I adjusted that to 46 and 101. There you'll see your trading stop 46, 101. So these settings automatically adjust. So no other strategy exists outside of DTB traders that can do this. I mean, none of them can do it. Okay. So this is effectively managing your strategy. And it's the same with the delaying of the trade. So you can also delay your first trade. You've got that marker that you can actually move. And, unfortunately, it's not showing at the moment. I just want to check something out. Did I definitely activate this on the correct? So when you're activating the strategy, just make sure that you're activating it on the correct data series, which I did over there. Okay, but it's good. It's fine, even though we're not seeing those lines at the moment. But as soon as you are moving these markers, those markers are going to present on the screen. And I think it might be after a bar closes. After a bar closes, when the strategy is active. I think that's when it really starts refreshing and getting everything. So you can have the strategy active without it taking positions. So while the strategy is active, you can also click on the start button, and clicking on it once will pause the strategy and not take any new positions. So you'll see over there, it says the bottom left, it says strategy, no new positions, press start again. So all that means is that if there's any open positions, they're going to continue running, but no new positions are going to come into effect. If you wanted to start again, you press the start button. So that is going to restart the strategy, and then your things are going to take in place. The same thing with your retracement. If you want the retracement ticks to be a specific value, that is also can be adjusted over there. So, you can have that as your 10, and it'll obviously adjust the settings in the background, and it's going to enter trades based on their retracement level. There's your minimum distance, your maximum distance is your trade size, and you've got your space out trade. So you can choose how spaced out do you want those trades. Okay, so that's a space out trades feature. Now there's a handy little trick, like if you do not want to space out your trades and you don't want to go and reactivate the strategy, you can actually just click on the account button and it disables the spacing out of the trades. So that took it completely away. It's just like a little hidden button. It's like a secret little entrance for managing the strategy. So now the strategy will enter positions based on the retracement only and will not space out the positions. If you want to activate the space out again, you click on the button again and it will space out the trades, and you can adjust the value that it spaces out on. While the strategy is trading, you can click the pause button, and that'll obviously exit any open positions. And the start button will get it going again. So I'm just a little bit surprised though that we don't have all of this showing to us right now. I should have probably run this on playback a little bit just to show it in real time. But you guys will see during the US session when it's a bit busier, bit more market activity, you're going to see all the lines in play where they said they were going to be. And as you adjust these markers, you're going to see that the values are going to show over there. And some of you might want to just limit the amount of text that you're seeing on the chart. So you can go to your indicator settings, and you can say, I don't want to see the Fibonacci levels for the baseline values. Okay, I just want to see where the baseline is. Okay, just give us a second. So what this is going to do now, it's going to give you your baseline. So what you would need to do though is just go to your indicator settings and select your ticks above below baseline. So that's a very simple one to use for clear visualization of price. So ticks above below baseline, you'll enter, you can enter that, and you can make this one at 370. And that's going to show the 100. You don't have to have the 100. You can put different values in between. But this is showing you now where the baseline is, and you'll always know where the baseline is because it's got the value there. So this is showing 83 ticks, 81 ticks. And also when you got the automated strategy running, you don't have to have that indicator that tells you how far the price is away from the baseline. But this is still giving you your visual markers of where price needs to go for those baselines to break. Actually, I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't have these markers all available right here when I activate it. And when we do cover the signal charts, when you click on the signal chart, it tells you which signal chart is active. But like I said, we're not going to cover that now. But as you click on them, it changes the signal charts that you are using. So you can switch between different signal charts also while the strategy is running based on what you are seeing on those charts. And you can click on them until it says off, and then it's off. Ludicrous mode, it's the same thing there. You can put it on and off as you go. I just want to go back to the strategy settings and just see if I can figure out why this is doing what it's doing. So I'm just going to go back over here. I'm going to adjust this bars over here, bars to trade. I'm going to just try that on 1. Okay, is there anything else I need to adjust over here? Okay. And I'm just going to press the start button again. Okay, so our markers should definitely have been showing us there. So another thing I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to duplicate this in a new tab. And, some of you guys, even though we don't really focus on the minute bars at all, we can still, this strategy can also trade on that. So some of you can still use the signal charts that you're working with. So I'm just going to remove this one over here, and I'm going to put this as a minute bar. So okay, and we'll take off the indicators. And this is another way of just seeing the price in action on the strategy. So let's just test it on here. So if I go to strategies, and I might just go to the Modena Wick Trader strategy. So some of you guys also just want to get a feel for the strategy and just want to let it run. So what you can do is you can load up the default settings like this. Okay, it's got the stops and the targets. Let me just click on template and reset. So it's got the stops and the targets in place. You can click on this and adjust this to like 50 and 250. That's a good thing to do. So get that like that. Select it on your trading chart like this. Okay, so that is going to activate, and generally what happens is, I think it's when the first bar closes, that's when it really starts, when it works. So you can start the strategy in advance, but then have it start trading on the next bar. So look at this one over here. the price has come all the way back to the baseline. So we had that signal. We had that signal of the green bars there where we started the call earlier. And then we had red bars. So there the price has come all the way back to the baseline. Isn't that crazy? So that is an incredible move. And it's so clearly determined by this. So, but this could very easily have just, gone up, right? Because it was so close. It was so close to breaking the baseline. But, it gave us a little false breakout there, and ultimately, no, the banks and institutions says, well, we're just going to take out some stops. We're just going to fool some people into entering positions. We're going to take out some stops, but our main objective is to take the price all the way back to a previous price level that they were happy with, which is basically what they kind of did over there within a few ticks of the baseline break. Okay, just coming back over here. I just want to see what's going on over here. So strategies. Again, I just want to adjust the bars required to trade. That might be, I'm not sure if that is going to make an impact on this. Yeah, it did. Okay. So like there as an example is our strategy. So I will continue just quickly with this. So as you can see over here, there's our minimum distance, maximum distance. So I can now go and deactivate the space out trades. Okay. I can specifically choose where my stop and targets are. So you see this red line on the screen over here. That is where the stop would be if a trade entered right now. So if I want to adjust that stop, you'll see that red line is going to move. So there we go. I moved it down to 120. Now that's going to trail the price by that value. So whenever an entry happens right now, that is where it's going to place that stop. And I might just remove this one indicator from the chart, which is the tick distance counter, because we're not needing that anymore, because it's basically embedded within the retrace gap value. Okay, so that is there. Again, it just takes a few seconds, a minute or two to start working. And there we've got our minimum distance. So you can see if I adjust, so there's our first entry. Okay, so if I go like this, chart trader, and I think we're trading on the 1 account, right? Or 2. 2. Okay, so that's the position now that it's entered. So you'll see that's the stop where the price would have to go, and whenever the price now retraces 10 ticks, it's going to enter a position. So we'll just let this run very quickly. So you see that it's gone up 10, 10, 6, 5, 10. It's going to keep recording its highest value. And as soon as it hits 0, it's going to enter a position. So there's a second position. And again, it entered at 200 ticks away, or 129 ticks away. So that was our first entry. Second entry, there's our maximum entry. So if we go to our maximum distance, we can say, you know what? We don't want to enter trades 180 ticks away from the price. We want to enter up to 100. So there's maximum distance 100 ticks. So what will happen is the strategy will only enter trades between the start of the candle and 100 ticks of that candle. So it's only going to enter 100. It's only going to enter within that specific range of price. Okay, so we just had, so there's another retracement there. It's gone to 0. It's entering positions. And the bottom of the chart is going to give us our exact, our exact profit and loss. And that's going to update every time the price moves like 10 ticks. I haven't updated it on every tick because it's a lot of consumption of system resources. But, a good way for... Yeah, that's right, Bruce. So as soon as the price returns to the baseline, it's going to start, showing. I can do something on that to actually fix to adjust that. I just want to try something here. Okay, so this is okay. I'm doing it on one window. That's not helping me too much, is it? So this specific one that it is, so it also tells you there, sim copy. Okay, I haven't got the button wide enough, but that's basically going to tell you the position. So you have them in separate charts anyway. But basically, when the price returns to the baseline, that's basically when the strategy will start coming into effect. And I think that's what happened over there with the flat baseline one. I'm going to just see if there's a small mod I can make to refresh the entry so that they start immediately when a chart is open. I mean, that's what it should be doing. I don't know why it isn't. But yeah, so that's what's going to happen. Now, one of the things I can show you too is you can choose how many entries the strategy enters. So you can say, you know, I want to enter a maximum of 20 entries or 10 entries or 5 entries. The slider will be limiting the amount of entries that your strategy will enter. And say, for example, like there, you know, you're in 4 positions. If you don't want any more positions, you can click on the start button, and that is going to pause the strategy so that does not take any more positions. So, you know, that's what you can do. So, you know, this is managing the strategy, right? So you specifically managing to say, you know, do I want to enter more? Do I want to not enter more? But you're not just blindly looking at a chart, right? You still got to look at your signal chart to say, you know what, I only want to enter long positions, or I only want to enter short positions. So you can still work with an overall trend that is going to give you control over the strategy, because, you know, you might say, you know, I literally only want the strategy to enter short positions. So then the strategy, you know, whatever it does, it will only enter retracements on short positions. Or it will only enter short positions based on retracements, and, you know, the strategy will not enter any long positions. So if you're choosing both, obviously it's going to trade, you know, both directions. So, you know, that is what that is. So, you know, if, again, we haven't covered any of the filters, but like there's a smoothing filter that, you know, you can disable and enable. And it's got a few different options with that, but off is gray. So in the meantime, it's a good idea to work with the strategy without any of the filters, and only control whether the strategy takes long positions or short positions, and when it trades, how many positions it trades. So you're doing like an overall management of it. You can also obviously choose how much up the wick you want to trade. So there's a few things. Gosh, sorry guys, this has been a very long call, but I think if you guys break it up into sections and you watch the strategy work on, you know, playback, or you even watch it like we're doing now, and you see it in action as it's doing, you know, different things, you know, monitor the different levels that you can adjust it at. But generally, you're going to see that, you know, in a short period of time, if you're managing the strategy successfully, you're going to have, you know, very, very good results with the strategy. Like I said, it's probably the most successful strategy that we have. It definitely helps when you are managing it very effectively, because you don't want the strategist to enter random trades. You want it to be, you know, you want it to work with a signal chart. Okay, this is not helping because it's the same account, but generally that's what we're doing, guys. So thank you guys for jumping on the call. We're going to cover, I think we're going to cover more of this strategy next week. And ideally what I want to do is I want to combine that signal chart of the SI indicator into the strategy, the one that we looked at on the chart, because we saw this huge move over here coming all the way down, basically back to the baseline. So the strategy, you know, if this signal chart is built in specifically, it will enter short positions all the way back to the baseline. Like I said, I'm going to see what I can do with the reverse feature, but same thing with the reverse. You know, if there's the baseline and we've got green bars, you want the strategy to trade long, and only when there's red bars, trade short. So trade long, trade short, trade long, trade short, you know, so that's how we want to be able to, you know, manage the strategy. So that's one of the signal charts that will be built into this. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for jumping on the call. I hope it wasn't too much to take in, but I think with what we covered today, you're going to have a lot more information on the strategy and how to work with it. So work with the different settings, go through the settings again, make sure you understand them all, and choose your direction. So before you start a session, to make it very simple, just like this session I'm only going to go long, or this session I'm only going to go short, or based on the last, based on the trend of the current price, to be very safe, I'm just going to go long positions or short positions. So it's a really good way to get practice with the strategy. And then as we start developing more of the signal charts or understanding them a lot more, you guys are going to love the strategy. So the beauty of the strategy is it does not require optimization. You don't put it through a strategy analyzer. It's based on real-time price action, real-time price movement. So it makes it ideal for any type of trading environment. Wonderful. Okay, guys, thank you. And same time next week, just watch out for the alerts, the announcements in the announcements channel of of the Discord chat. And we're going to keep kicking ass with the DTB system. And remember, winners never quit and quitters never win. So stick with the system. You've got an entire system here of automated strategies, signal charts, all combined. There's nothing better that exists for trading. So the only time you're going to give up on this is if you basically stop trading, and some people will stop trading. That's what you do, right? It's not for everybody. Hey guys, thank you and have a wonderful week. Cheers.